Good evening. We are at 7 o'clock, actually 7:01, so we'll open the conservation meeting for October 30th. We'll start with roll call there, Richard.
Richard Johnson's here.
Louis Poo is here.
Mark LePage.
Michael Ryan?
Roger Trahan.
Nicole Sharamonte.
Matthew Stoltz.
All right. And with that, we will open our first public hearing of the evening, which is 444 East Central Street. Gentlemen.
Let's see. Would you like you want your side by side? Or give it a side? This is fine. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is AJ Alavisos with Tag Central LLC, the applicant. I'm here with Chris Frateroli of Goddard Consulting, our wetland scientist, and Carlton Quinn of Allen & Major, our civil engineer. We're here this evening just to present kind of an overview of the progress we've made since the last hearing. Last week, we had a ZBA hearing where we presented a slightly tweaked version of the site plan that has been in front of you for the past couple of months. The plan, we're moving forward with preparing a revised NOI plan set that matches that alternative conceptual site plan we presented at the last hearing. I'm going to just pull up on screen a quick little comparison of the last site plan that you've seen compared to the current draft alternative site plan that we presented last week that we're in the process of preparing full permit drawings for. So give me 1 second and I will pull that up. What is this? All right, so just to present a quick high-level overview, plan set on the left is the last site plan we submitted to the Conservation Commission. The only changes that we made to the site plan program was to the east side of the stream, so that's the only area that you'll see here that's visible on screen. The west side of the stream remains completely unchanged, still features 2 4-story buildings, same parking configuration. On the east side, we changed the building that's on the very east side, so plan right. We changed that from a 4-story building to a 3-story building. That change was in result from abutter feedback to our east, board feedback from the zoning board. Essentially, that footprint stayed in almost the exact same location. It stayed almost the exact same size. The building along the east of the stream, so just left of the building that I was just speaking about, that stayed at 4 stories. The footprint was slightly elongated. It only made up for about 1,000 square feet difference in footprint, and it stayed at 4 stories. Other than that, we were able to shrink the parking spaces by about 1/2 foot to go from a 9-foot wide space to an 8.5-foot wide space. The purpose of doing so was to increase the buffer along the east side of the property edge from our residential abutters, and that was in response to feedback we had from our abutters as well as the board. There's a ton of mature vegetation there that we wanted to preserve to maximize screening for the neighbors. It also allowed us to keep a lot more open space and green space, which we like as well. We did so by incorporating a pretty expensive retaining wall along the east side of the drive aisle. That's about 300 feet long. It stems from the bottom right corner of the site up to about the middle portion of the building. That's all the way to the right, east. We did that, and then we also, like I said, minimized the spaces to make room for more buffer. We now have about a little over a half acre of buffer in total. And then we also relocated a parking garage from the east side up to the north. Those were the main changes that we did. So really, we didn't shift any buildings around. We just got unique with solving the request to increase the buffer by rearranging the parking dimensions and rearranging the parking spaces. The other change we made was we lost 10 units, so we reduced the project size by 10 units from 264 to 254. We did so to keep the parking ratio what the ZBA requested, the minimum parking ratio, and we also didn't want to elongate the building on the east any further to respect the neighbors, so we left the footprint the same by reducing, about two or three stacks of units from the building. So overall, in summary, from a high level, and then I'll give it to Chris to kind of talk about some of the specifics from what he's seeing from a wetland standpoint, Wetland Protection Act compliance standpoint. We made these changes resulted in a 1/4 acre less of impervious area. It provided more green space in the plan, as you can see along the eastern edge of the site. We have 10 less units. We have less parking overall. I think the parking went down from about, Carlton, is it 429 to 399 about, somewhere in that neighborhood. So from a 1:6:2 ratio to a 1:5:2 ratio. And we also ended up with a shorter building height, as I mentioned, from 4 stories on the easternmost building to 3. And all of these maintain compliance with the Wetland Protection Act, as Chris will mention to you. He's already dug into this plan. We've already started revising the plan set to have a more detailed comprehensive permit plan set. And he's already, conducted his analysis accordingly. So Chris, go ahead.
Could I ask just one question before we go
Yes,
too
sir.
far? You just mentioned you added a wall. Is that up to the parking lot? Why did we add that wall?
The retaining wall is about 3 feet high. It's along the east side, so right where the mouse is, if you can see that. We did that to minimize the horizontal extent of grading we had to do. Carlton's a civil engineer. He designed the wall. He can explain it better than I can.
So before you did that wall, though, the drainage would just go down the slope into the wetlands? Is that how that was set up?
No, it would have come down the slope, caught into the parking lot, and everything in the parking lot gets caught into a catch basin.
Okay, thank you.
So to pick it up where AJ left off, as you all know, a couple weeks ago, we had a very, very productive work session with a couple of commissioners and Beta staff where we were able to, I think, really suss out a lot of the remaining items here that we were going to need to address to get this project across the finish line. We essentially, after that meeting, we kind of just went ahead and started making a bunch of revisions and incorporating some of the feedback and discussion that we had at that meeting into our site plans so that when we got Beta's next letter, which we did receive earlier today, so when we got that letter, we were as ready as possible to quickly put together a response to it and get all that information updated and submitted to you folks. So on that note, we did receive Beta's 3rd review letter earlier today. I think all of us spent pretty much all day looking at it and making some progress towards preparing revisions to that end. And ultimately, there were very few remaining comments that really warranted any response at all. Maybe 5 on the wetland side, 5 on the stormwater side, 3. And we're very confident that within the next day or two, honestly, we'll have everything revised and buttoned up and in a place where we can submit that to you and hopefully cross all the last remaining items here off the list. We did also receive DEP comments. I think that was shortly before our working session, and we were kind of waiting to incorporate that into this revision as well. So we've been taking all of that, all those comments under advisement and working to make sure that those are incorporated. We made a handful of revisions to how we've quantified the existing degraded riverfront area, a handful of revisions to how we're depicting our proposed conditions with regard to a few items specifically, one being the dock and a handful of other things. But we really feel like we're kind of down to the last handful of comments, and we anticipate it having a revised submittal for you in the next couple of days at the latest.
Great.
So I think that was all that I had. Did you have anything else to add to that?
No, we did get the letter and reviewed it, and there were no surprises. Everything we kind of discussed before, we had been working on since that meeting, so that's why we can turn it around so quickly. I think civil-wise, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, I think so for wetlands as well. I mean, the only change with this tweak to the site plan, as AJ mentioned, was that building number 3 got about 1,000 square feet bigger. But in order to make that happen, there was also a loss in this section of parking here. So it is a near net zero change in terms of our impact to riverfront area. And we were already operating with, I forget the number offhand, something like a 10,000 square foot cushion in our pre and post development conditions here. So we have no concerns about that impacting our ability to comply with the riverfront area regulations. So, yeah, we're essentially today and tomorrow mostly putting the finishing touches on what we hope will be our final plan set. And unless you had something else to add to that?
No, I don't think so. I'll just add, I mean, we've received a number of comments from Beta, obviously, over the diligent and thorough review that they've given us, as well as the commission. We've created just internally a tracker of every single comment we've ever received from Beta since the beginning of this application, as well as from the commission, such as the last hearing and work session updating the drainage report for the misstate that we had in there. So we have all of that tracked, and we've been making sure that this final plan set, even though it's just slight tweaks, it incorporates all of the previous responses that we incorporated into the plan set from a design standpoint. So that's how we're making sure that this final plan set's going to include and be all-encompassing of all the peer review comments that we've had so far. So we think that this project, from a zoning board perspective, it is better than the initial project that we presented to the town council for their initial lip support, as well as to the commission for your initial support, and to the planning board. We're really pleased with the feedback that we've received from the commission, as well as the town as a whole, and we think the project at this point, with how it's been revised, is a better project than what we started with. So we appreciate all the feedback we've gotten.
So I think with that, we would turn it over to the commission for any questions, comments, anything that's come up in the interim that you'd like to see incorporated while we're kind of putting the finishing touches on things. But we feel like we're in great shape here.
So, and thank you guys. So you're next, again, before the ZBA on the 6th? Or
We're in front of the ZBA on the 20th of November.
yeah, okay. So you're in front of the ZBA on the 20th. You've got a waivers request in front of them, right, that potentially impacts a number of conservation components. So that's still potentially out there to be addressed. We'll see where the ZBA goes on that. But just thinking timeline here. So we'll, we got Beta's comments today. We'll take a look at the revised plans and comments from you guys. Hopefully be able to materially discuss that at the next meeting. And then we've got to see where the ZBA ends up. Typically, sequentially, ZBA makes their decision first, and then we do. So, see where things end up on the 20th, but just kind of thinking ahead of the sequence of events here. So, You know, I don't know if you've got any feedback on that. It was pretty academic, but.
My thoughts are, we did submit what we think is pretty close to the final waiver list to the board before the last hearing. I know Bricolai was on the last ZBA hearing, and I'm sure she's on Zoom if she's not here somewhere.
She's on Zoom, yeah.
So we were hoping that with that submission, the commission could perhaps, I think, look that over and provide some feedback on the waivers to the board, so we can take that feedback into consideration, revise the waivers, and make some progress on that end. The board committed to, at the last hearing, of having a decision actually filed with the clerk by the end of December. So that means the decision will be drafted and final before that point, and then actually filed with the clerk. So even if the hearing's closed sometime in December, they actually will file it on the 31st, even though typically if it was closed in December or November, they would have a little longer than that. So that is the timeline we're looking at from that standpoint. We do feel like, unless we're missing something, that we're in pretty good shape with peer review, based on the final response letter from Beta that we got, based on the restoration plans that we've submitted. We've actually updated those every single resubmission that we've had, so you guys do have the latest one, and we'll continue to submit a revised one tomorrow or Monday with the response that we submit to Beta. We were hoping with the commission's acceptance, if we could consider maybe moving forward with drafting some conditions and getting to a point where we can start looking at a decision together. So that's what I was hoping we could do as sort of a next step.
So you think you'll have a updated restoration plan coming?
We've already submitted it, yeah.
But you mentioned you think it'd be updated.
That'll be submitted either tomorrow or Monday with the package. Yep. And the last restoration plan we submitted was about a month ago when we submitted our response to Beta. And Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. But.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. It's kind of grown since the initial, I think, preliminary or draft plan that we had shared with you before we'd even filed an NOI. It now includes, stipulations about invasive species management and wetland replication and all these things, in addition to cleanup and restoration of some of the existing impacts on site.
Okay. Bricolai, I see you had your hand up.
I was trying to find the like button, but I don't have that option. So that was me just all fingers saying, okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
Any other comments?
No, I think stemming off of what AJ's hoping for, I think, I do know the ZBA, per Gus, they are meeting November 6th. So he had actually asked me and the commission to draft that letter, or to ask the commission to draft a response letter for the waivers. So that is an exercise that they're prepared to do tonight for the November 6th meeting. So I'm hoping that we get some sort of directive next week prior to November 20th. We'll get the restoration plan from you. That's great. That's an easy lift. That can be reviewed. It's pretty much plug and play, right, from what you have for the NOI. And then, we hear back from ZBA. So that's kind of where we're at. And then I think after that, once we get through ZBA, then we can probably start looking at conditions.
I might have my dates wrong. I didn't know we had a hearing with the zoning board on the 6th, honestly, so I gotta double check that one.
You're not wrong, AJ, because I didn't either. This just came up actually after your conversation with Jamie on Friday.
Okay, got it. I will I will look into that. Thank you.
Yes, I just know that we have to have our letter by Monday to Gus, so.
That's why I was thinking the 6th, yeah. That's why that date stuck in my head.
it may be something too, AJ, that while they should do it during a public hearing, don't get me wrong, they may not need you there. So-
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, yeah, I'll,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Other questions?
I had a question about the snow storage.
Yes.
On one of the plans, I don't know what it was saying that the runoff from the snow was going to go into the resource area. But then on an older one, it does show that the snow storage will be near a catch basin. Could you explain what's going to be happening with the snow storage?
Yeah, so we spent the better part of today coordinating all the snow storage with the landscape architect to make sure that we weren't showing it in a, where a tree was going or something like that. So we will be storing, all the snow storage will be in landscaped areas. Some of those areas may have like area drains associated with them, but there'll be no snow storage in the parking lot, like on top of those catch basins taking up any parking spaces. All the snow storage will be outside of a 100-foot buffer to BVW or riverfront, depending on where on the site it is. So we've taken all the snow storage outside of, within 100 foot of any resource area on the project. This is the new iteration you're gonna see coming up. So it might not be in the plan you're looking at now, if that's what you're
No,
referring
no,
to.
and I wasn't assuming, but 100, I feel as though it should be further away. 100, if you're 100 feet from the buffer, it's still, why can't it be stored in a different way? Is there?
Well, if you
look
come
at
in
that?
the driveway, the whole driveway is within 100 feet. So
Yes.
although it's stored in landscape areas, it's melting, coming into parking lot areas, getting caught in the catch basins, going through the stormwater treatment devices and getting pushed into the infiltration system. So it's not like we're storing it on the banks of a stream where it's gonna be getting into the stream. It's gonna go through the stormwater management system prior to being discharged when it melts.
So it's not gonna be discharged into the resource area or in the landscaping area? It's going to be, driven to the gate, the catch basin?
It'll be directed to the stormwater management system, yes.
Okay. Is that shown on the plans?
I have
Will
a
on the
whole
next
snow
ones?
storage plan that just has snow storage on it,
Okay.
nothing else.
Thank you.
No problem.
Richard?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I have yeah, just an observation. So on the east side, you basically widen that buffer for tree lines and all that. So it's, so I'm thinking as far as your stormwater impervious layers, you're changing your delta on that. It's still good, as far as like containment and drainage, it
Correct. So
It's
we
still-
basically lost
fine.
a quarter of an acre of impervious on this site, and there's been really no change to the size of our infiltration system.
Okay.
So it's mitigating even more now than it was previously.
Okay.
And
'Cause-
we've redone the drainage report, updated all the areas, so it's completely up to date in the next submittal you'll be getting.
Okay. Not just, yeah, because you now have, your natural, pervious layers now. One thing I was looking at this new site plan here, and, now that we have a little bit more of the green space buffer area, more natural zone, I think in your proposal, you guys had outlined as far as like a designated area for conservation or for replication. Any way of extending that to up all the way up to where you guys created that new buffer?
The issue is to create that replication area, we have to grade.
Not replication, it's just more of kind
I
of,
think he's talking about the portion to be deeded to the town.
exactly.
The conservation land at the south of the site.
So are you envisioning continuing it up to the right of
Yeah,
the
where it
parking
starts off
lot?
at the lower, thinking, it's not in there, but I'm sure it's cut off, but you know how like it starts off at the very south of that?
Yes.
And then it's just like, but then it's like
Yeah, so the way that it's drawn up now is it's really cut off at the bottom of this image, but
Yeah.
it kind of extends along the bottom of the image here, where my cursor is.
Actually,
And-
you might see it in the black and white, the previous, that sliver right there, I think that's wetland.
Yeah, so,
Location.
yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that exhibit handy, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, it is just off screen to
Oh,
the south of the parking lot. And it continues up the right side here, right? And I think the suggestion is, can we incorporate this buffer on the right-hand side
Yeah.
into that?
So basically, you're expanding that.
We have a fence located there for the benefit of the abutters.
Yeah.
That was an important concession that we gave to them for screening and privacy concerns that they had. I just don't know if I can kind of do that with where that fence is going. So I hesitate to say that I can do that because of that reason, and because it's right up along the edge of their property. So the southerly land is sort of like away from any improvements that we're already doing. So that's kind of where we wanted to kind of leave that. Do you have like a plan for an idea of what you want to do with that land along the east side? Because it's kind of like a 30-foot long sliver of land up between single-family houses and our parking lot. So I'm curious what you were thinking for.
Really nothing, I mean, just leaving it as is, just kind of having, just basically because you're just kind of adding on to, since that area is not developed, and we have that area already to the south of that, just kind of like tying it in. It's like, since you guys are looking to expand that, it's just really just tying into the, that area. Just some thoughts. It was just,
Yeah, let me take it under consideration. It's, the fence is there. That's kind of my main thing is we need that land for the fence. Because that's an assurance and a promise we made to the board and our abutters. So it would complicate things with that. So
yeah.
that's kind of my initial reaction to that. The land to the south, we're not proposing to put any improvements there. So we have land that, we're able to donate, but that land we are using for that purpose, so I hesitate to say that we can do that.
I think I was kind of more looking at it as like preservation, so.
We have no plans to develop it, other than the fence. So, happy to accept a condition of some sort if you'd like.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
That would be a nice condition.
Sure. We're actually, well, let me add to that. Other than the fence, we're actually proposing approximately, I don't know the number of trees, but a significant sum, call it $25,000 to $30,000 of trees along the east side. There's an extensive amount of existing mature vegetation there. We are supplementing it with additional vegetation to ease the concerns of the one singular abutter who looks into our property. There's two other abutters along the end of Red Gate Lane cul-de-sac who really do not have a direct view into our development. But to supplement the existing mature vegetation, we are planting a significant number of trees there. So that area is going to be preserved, added with trees, in addition to the fence that we're doing for screening. So that's our whole kind of plan for that area. Other than that, we're not planning to do anything. So, and we'd be happy to accept a condition saying that.
Bricolai, procedurally, do we want to discuss the waiver request?
Yes, you should discuss that during the public hearing. I would just ask the applicant if you could allow them to kind of discuss amongst themselves and just be there to answer questions if they have it, but otherwise just allow this time for them to do it, because this is the only time they get to meet.
Right, okay. So what we thought we'd do, so these are, and Bricolai, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But just so we understand procedurally how this works, is this is a friendly 40B project, right? So the ZBA maintains jurisdiction over whether local bylaws and regulations come into play and apply. So the process is the applicant submits a formal waiver request for all components of that, and ZBA has asked us to opine on that, right? Do we want to relinquish jurisdiction under these, right? So that's relatively speaking and generally what we're talking about. To Bricolai's point, we've been asked to submit a response. So that meeting was last Thursday, I guess, or Wednesday. So we've been asked to submit a response letter by this coming Monday. So what I thought I'd do is go through the waiver requests. We do have a copy of them. We can talk about them. And then some thoughts on, I would say, where I am on these. I'm not making a decision, but just wanted to have a starting point for recommendations and some rationale as to what recommendations we're making, if that makes sense. You guys have any questions, kind of, overall procedurally of how that works? Okay. All right. So the first waiver is for our protection bylaw regulations, section 2. This is a pretty general overview where, generally speaking, the applicant is requesting that the project be jurisdictional under the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, typically known as Commonwealth of Massachusetts Regulation 310. That would essentially take our role under the local bylaws and regulations out of play. Kind of a simplification. So that I looked at that as a little bit of an umbrella waiver request. So, my recommendation, we could talk about the verbs in a minute, is I would prefer not to see that happen. And we have the regulations in place, so we would rather maintain our jurisdiction in general. The next three are basically waivers in regard to the way we look at buffer zones. Again, I'm simplifying the language here, right? But would take the 25-foot no disturb, the 25 to 50-foot no structure, and 50 to 100-foot buffer zone protections out of play. And I'll give you some verbiage I'm thinking of. My preference would be to leave those in place. We have them there for a reason, and I think typically we work pretty well with applicants to work through challenges in that area. But I think it would be, I would rather make a database decision on this, right? I'd like to understand the impacts in these buffer zones, and then try and do the best we can to, avoid, minimize, mitigate. So my preference is to leave those in place, not to hang anybody up, but to maintain our jurisdiction and understand the impact. We do have the impact on the riverfront area, but not those. So those are regulations 4.2, 4.3, and 4.4. Then we've got regulation 5, which is a variance from bylaw procedure requesting variance from bylaw recommendations. Let me see what I put down on that. So that, I'm sorry. Yeah, all right. So this, they're basically requesting a waiver from the requirement to submit waivers to us, right? That actually makes sense because during the 40B process, ZBA has jurisdiction over waiver requests. So there's no sense in having that in place because we're not going to be ruling on it anyway. So that would be fine to recommend accepting the waiver. So we've got instructions for filing an NOI in Franklin. So this is actually a request, and I do have a question for the applicant, to waive the local filing fee. my recollection was, I think we might have talked about this, and you guys seemed amenable to paying the filing fee. So I was just curious if your position's changed on that?
I remember talking about this. It was a long time ago, and we had discussed, I think, that there was a chance that maybe we could get some sort of credits towards the filing fee that had to do with the local share of the state filing fee, and I don't remember. I think I was talking to Barikolai about it. I don't know if she recalls if that was true. I had come up with a number of about 20,000 for the filing fee when I looked up back through my emails, but could be mistaken. So I don't know if she recalls that, and if I'm wrong, then that's,
So I don't recall credits. I recall that originally, when you first came in, and commissioners, we had a meeting with Jeff. So he was at this meeting. You had filed it as a commercial industrial, if you recall, because then Chris, who files everything else in Franklin, you have square footage pricing, right? And we had discussed that it's per unit because it's a multifamily dwelling. So I remember that conversation. So it went from however much it was with commercial industrial down to, what is that, $100, $120 a unit?
got it.
I don't recall anything else from there.
Okay, I looked at a previous 40B project that went through the commission not too long ago. It was on Grove Street. Similar
Yeah, they
size.
got waived from ZBA for pricing, for finances.
So did they pay the local
Nope,
fee?
ZBA said they didn't have to.
Okay, so I think it would only be fair that we would at least request to be treated fairly and the same as another applicant who has done a very similar project to ours, so that's where I would
Yeah, you can-
like to
You
ask.
can
the
request
zoning
that,
board.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, you know, and we were in the same position on 121 Grove, right? I mean, our position is we would rather the fees be paid, but you certainly can request a waiver. Our recommendation, I'm thinking is, we'd rather see it paid. Then we had submittal of a mitigation plan, waiving that requirement. Again, would rather see that stay in place, you know, particularly relative to if we refocus on the buffer zones. Submittal of an alternative analysis. Felt that would be fine to be waived primarily because looks like that's already required under the Federal Wetland Protection Act, arguably EPA agency 404B1 guidelines, so it's kind of a duplication. So that's fine to be waived, we thought. Essentially replication of 2-to-1. Understanding the challenges on this lot, would still rather keep that in play and work with the applicant to figure that out as best as possible, particularly if we're going to maintain the buffer zone information. So recommended that stay in place. Construction sequence and schedule. Felt fine waiving that. It looked like you've got a requirement for construction sequence and schedule on the plans under 310 CMR and sequencing guidelines, which isn't the same, but good similarities under the Federal Wetland Protection Act. So I thought that was fine. Information to be shown on plans. This is essentially existing vegetation, particularly trees. We typically stick to that, but as we've discussed in the past, is retreat from the 1-inch depicting what needs to be removed, 1-inch diameter trees to 3-inch. So we'd rather stick with our historical perspective on that. Then this gets a little, I guess I'd say arcane. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 components of what is called our regulations, chapter 271. Again, oversimplification, these are some of the operational guidelines we're given as a commission. My interpretation is that there's some language in each of these, and I'll tell you what they are, that would, again, relatively speaking, take the local regulation and bylaws out of play. They're not necessarily written that way, right? So the first one is 271.6 C3. It's titled Chairman Powers and Duties is the title of the overall component. But then when you look into it, where you get hung up is administering and this is the three on that, administering the town wetlands protection bylaw, right, chapter 181. So that's what, we would be prohibited from engaging in. Similarly, you've got vote requirements, 271, 9, and they reference D specifically in the first one, a motion to conduct separate hearings under the State Wetlands Protection Act and the Town Wetlands Protection Bylaw, right? So what they'd be looking to do is have the local town bylaws waived on that, and we would only be voting and analyzing and making a decision on the Massachusetts and Federal Wetlands Protection Act. Similarly, same line item 271.9, and then there's HIKL and M. Again, references to things that would pull the local town bylaws back into play. And the definition of key terms in town wetland protection, that's 271.13. And you've got some information, you've got some verbiage in there that refers to the town wetlands protection bylaw, particularly in the Alter area. So generally speaking, we're recommending that those. Okay. Is Michael Myers here tonight? Just watch that movie. We maintain those operational, if you will, or procedural statutes to be in place that allow us to make rulings based on the town bylaws. Eagle-eyed, would you say that's a fair but simple description?
Yeah, I think that's fair, and going off of fairness, I guess that's pretty much what Concom responded back with 121 Grove as
Okay.
well.
So, what we would end up doing is putting together a document that would support, if we're all comfortable with it, right? I mean, that's what we're here. If you've got different ideas, we can talk about it. I think Tyler had put the waiver requests on the drive, so we can look at those. We can talk about input tonight, but, what we'd like to do is construct the letter as requested to get over to Bruce Hunter and the ZBA. And again, I'll say the idea here is not to make this more difficult or hang things up. We realize this might, entail some additional time. I can tell you our commitment is, we need an additional meeting in November, December, just to address this. We're committed to do whatever it takes to make sure we maintain the timeline, but our preference would be to maintain our jurisdiction as written out. And that's what we'll request. ZBA is going to make the decision, as you guys well know, it's on them. But we feel we're obligated to at least make that communication.
Yeah.
So, you guys feel comfortable with the three we're going to waive and the others that we feel we should try and maintain? Okay. Bricolai, any further comments on that?
Nope, I just need to know where you guys all land. If you're all in agreement, that's fine, you can send me what you have, and I can deliver it to Gus.
Okay.
If the commission had comments with line items, that's fine. Discuss that.
So, yeah, if you have a comment that comes up, certainly let us know, but understand our goal is to get this done on Monday, was the deadline we were given. So, as AJ mentioned, the town is looking to have final decisions registered with the clerk by the end of December.
I have one question. So one of those that you're recommending waiving is that waivers would go to ZBA instead of here. What if ZBA didn't waive everything? If some of our wetlands bylaws stick, then we would want to receive.
So it's,
be in that loop.
I'm chuckling because it's ironic, right? The way that the system is designed under this process is we can't rule on waivers and variance requests, right? They have to go to ZBA.
Oh.
So
Okay, so it's not.
it's kind of immaterial, it's spinning in the wind, right? I asked the same question, so it's a good question, but I'm like, what if something comes up that maybe it would be constructive for us to dialogue on, but it's that die is precast.
Okay,
So
thank you.
it's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
The way it's set up. So, but good question.
Thanks.
Yeah, this, we don't take comments on. This is,
No, for the meeting.
yeah, so, you know, if we're done with this, we'll set this aside. And then any other questions or comments on the project in general? Okay. Anybody in chambers with a comment or a question? Okay, oh, okay, if you want to come to the mic and give us your name and address.
Just been bugging me, Steve Arnold, 520 Maple Street. I was wondering why Wayne Stobart hasn't added any input or shown up at the meetings.
So this is an application for a development
Yeah.
at that location. He's not part of that
Yeah, oh.
development, so he wouldn't be part of the
Yeah, oh,
application
that's right.
process, but good question. Anybody on Zoom have a additional question?
I have a couple of written questions, if you can. from
I
Gene
can't read
Grella.
that though, Tyler. If you could, would you
I
mind?
can-
Or you can read them, Louis.
Is there a reason he's not vocally? I mean, he's typing his questions, but,
It looks like he's online.
I mean.
He's logged in.
Would you like me to read them?
Yeah, if you can read it,
I can
Bricolai,
read
that'd be
them, but
great.
just
Sure. I should know Jean's address by this point, but Jean, I don't. I'm sorry. But anyways, it's Mr. Gene Grella.
I think it's 38 Redgate Lane. I've heard enough of his
Thank you,
comments.
AJ.
Yeah.
38 Redgate Lane. So he has asked why the town has issues with money. Are we waiving fees for developers? And then this is why we use, I guess this is a comment. This is why we use the 40B law to avoid having to deal with these bylaws.
So,
So I think these are more
well,
philosophical questions than any.
Though I'd say our recommendation is not to waive the fee, right? But that decision resides with ZBA. So that's a decision for them and a question for them. And again, our recommendation, if you listened and followed along, which I think you probably did, is to maintain the jurisdiction within the bylaws with the exception of two where there was duplication with either and/or both the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act 310 CMR or the Federal Wetlands Protection Act, or where as I talked about with Michael, the variance procedure is already preset. So we're.
So Mark, I think they unmuted me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, hey Gene, yep, we got you.
All right, awesome, okay. And I do appreciate that you guys are looking at that, and thank you for that. I'll make just two comments. One was, the first one that Brico already said, which is, town shouldn't be waiving fees at this point, especially if we're cutting services, and, so that's just, I don't, and I know you guys, that's not your recommendation. I know that's something that the ZBA did, but I just want to make sure everyone's aware of that. And the second thing, I wanted to say is again, I think I appreciate that you guys are looking at this. I know that you have to get this in by Monday, but I don't think anything that you do needs to be rushed on this. So maybe Rico Live, you can explain why we're pushing to get all this in by Monday.
Appreciate,
Not so much pushing, sorry. Mark, if you want to answer, that's fine. I was just doing it because it was my name.
yeah, well, I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt, but
No.
Gene, appreciate the input and the sentiment. You know, I wouldn't say rush, right? This was, you know, you go through these and, like I said, three are easy to concede because it's because of the reasons I described, I guess. You know, the other decisions in our mind were relatively easy to say, we're going to request of the ZBA that they not be waived. You know, the rationale, we live every day. So I felt like it was not time-consuming to put it down. We just need to wordsmith some stuff and probably check grammar. You know, so yeah, we'd rather be thorough than rushed anytime, but feel pretty good that this was a fairly academic exercise that we're on top of. But thank you.
Okay. No, thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah. Ricola, does that sound about right? Any?
It does. I also wanted to just provide some procedural context as well. This happens with every 40B. So Gene kind of knew that a request from Chair Hunchard was coming sooner rather than later, hopefully, to respond. But he did at the last ZBA meeting ask, so 2 weeks ago, or last week, I should say, 2 weeks from his next meeting, if we could, you know, respond. So we've had a week to go through it, look at it, you know. Chair LePage is chair for a reason. None of the commissioners are opposing. It sounds like what he's drafted, what we wordsmithed, again, it's very similar to 121 Grove Street. So by Monday, actually, we should have responded back to ZBA today. Not feasible because we don't have a meeting in between their meeting. We both meet on Thursdays. So Monday is the deadline, so to speak, to get it into ZBA so they can review it before their meeting. Whether they approve it next Thursday or November 20th is up to them.
All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
On the fee, I just want to reiterate my stance on that. We're not trying to shortchange and not pay our fair share of fees. The reason I put in the waiver is because Grove Street, very similar type of project to ours, was granted the waiver and they didn't have to pay it. So I think it's only fair that we at least submit that request as they did. So that's where I'm coming from on that. So that's all I'd have to say.
We don't fault anybody for submitting a request, right? You can always ask. But
Sure.
To our point, we responded the same way.
Yeah, and I totally
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
your position on it too. I just wanted to explain where I was coming from on that, so.
I got it. We feel it's our duty to.
Of course.
The fees is written, so, but fair point. Okay. So, seeing no other input or questions, Richard, I'll take a motion to continue the NOI.
Before they do that, do you mind if I just weigh in for a second? Just to clarify earlier, if anyone does wish to speak, if they want to use the raise hand function, we'll unmute you, and that way you don't have to type out comments
Yeah,
going
you should
forward.
start
I probably should have said that earlier, I just wanted to make that known.
So we're going to November 13th,
November 13th.
7:01.
All right,
Continue.
we're ready to go?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we continue the NOI for 444 East Central Street to November 16th, 13th at 7:01.
Second that.
Vote to continue.
Continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Continue?
Guys, thanks for coming in.
Thank you very much, appreciate
All
it.
right. No gavel tonight. Probably the same place as my glasses. All right. With that, we have got the NOI for 260 Daniel Street. Is Jimmy here?
Good evening. How are we all doing today? I'm James Thornhill, for the people who don't know who I am.
So do you go by James or Jimmy?
My friends call me Jimmo. So,
For some reason I had Jimmy in my mind.
yeah, that's fine, you can call me Jimmy.
All right, no, so James it is.
I've been called worse.
All right, well, it's good to have you here, James. Thanks for
Thanks.
coming in.
Just don't call you late for dinner.
That's right. I appreciate that one.
So, any thoughts to start out with, James?
At this point, we are at a roadblock between finding somebody to do the mitigating or the work on the,
The spraying,
yeah. Nobody wants to take the project on.
So.
We've called at least 24 companies,
Yep.
and not one of them has committed to it, and the ones that I've talked to that said they do it, said they're too busy to even take it on. They referred me to other companies, and those companies either didn't do it, or didn't have time, or didn't get back to us.
So, I know Bricolage just gave you this yesterday, but have you tried Googling environmental firms?
Yeah? We've gone through landscapers, Japanese knotweed, people who mitigate it.
Yeah.
I believe my son looked at an environmental, or I forget what he said, but he said he looked into more than I did. He's better on the computer than I am.
As if you Google environmental firms, and here's where we're thinking, right? You know, we see a lot of these businesses come in to our meetings, right? So we're familiar with some of them and
Yep.
what they do. We can't make a recommendation. because
Understood.
That wouldn't be right, but those are the kind of places that typically would be able to help you navigate this, right? So even if you want to, I would say that would be the thing to do is Google.
I'll definitely go down that rabbit hole and see if I can find somebody
All right.
that's interested in it. And you guys are against the thought process of me getting certified to do it.
Yeah,
And why is that?
Um,
Why am I not gonna, if I take the classes and get certified to do it, why would I not be qualified to do it no different than anyone else? And why are you guys saying, no, don't do that? I'm trying to save the homeowner money.
No,
She's broke. When I say she's broke,
Understood.
she's
So,
broke.
I don't think we're saying no to that as much as trying to recommend what we think would be a better, more effective path forward for you. Your decision, right?
We would've had it done by now if you guys had said, yeah, go for it. And I'm not spending the money or the time on the class
Right.
with the correspondence that we've had online together.
Our concern was, and again, not an expert in this, but the timing it takes to actually qualify and get that license could be,
I probably would've been done by now. We've been doing this for what, a month?
yeah.
Well over a month?
I don't know, Bricolage, you got an opinion on that?
Yeah, so I don't think anyone's saying not to get certified.
Right.
If you want to get certified, that's your professional purview, 100%. I think what the commission's looking for is so their job is to operate on actualities and what's going to happen. So for them, what they're looking for is an invasive species management plan that is drafted by someone that's licensed now to start. Hold on, just one second.
No, I'm listening.
They're also looking for someone, for you, whoever's drafting the notice of intent, you is ambiguous in this regard. They're looking for you to provide something with concrete evidence that can be conditioned, that's enforceable, that is liable. At that point, they don't have that. So I think where perhaps this went awry is them saying, well, we need something that we can put in writing that can be, registered at the Registry of Deeds, that can go to DEP, that can be solidified in law, that this is going to happen. This plan is going to happen. It is operated by someone that is currently licensed. I don't think at any point anyone said, no, you can't go get licensed. They were saying, with the time that we have, it's better to have someone now.
Understood.
Here's our thought, James.
Understood, and I have been diligent, I've been hunting,
No, I got
calling, I call people in New Hampshire.
So here's our thought, and maybe this gives you the time to get the license, right? So we're essentially out of the season to be able to.
Correct.
To work on this now anyway, right? So our thought is, we put an order of conditions in place, or request a plan from a licensed professional by March, so the next real time to get at this stuff is gonna be like the end of the spring, right?
End of the spring or the beginning of spring?
Back half of the spring.
Okay.
right? So if we could get a plan by March 1st, if you get licensed, then you're a licensed professional. You want to submit the plan, that works. We just ask that it come from a licensed professional. You want to look for a licensed professional, that's fine too, gives you some time.
Yeah.
right? And then we want that plan executed no later than June 1st, right? So that gives some time, I mean,
That gives us time to find somebody, gives the homeowner a chance to save some money to do it, and it'll give you guys a chance to see what takes place.
Exactly. And that,
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, that's the timing it's going to work out for the vegetation anyway.
Yeah, we're all game for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And can we continue working on the property, or we gotta wait until spring? I'm not gonna be able to get vegetation growing on that. I don't even think winter rye will start growing on the hill. So if I stop playing with it, it's gonna unstabilize what's already pre-existing.
So what are you thinking you're looking to do between now and then?
I don't know, anything I can to get the project moving along. So come springtime, we can be done.
What remains to be done?
Yeah, I guess.
A little bit of fill in the back left corner, regrade the hill, loom it, plant the plants.
Is there grass on what you're intending to work on?
No, there's no loom on it, it's all sand,
Well,
it's all gravel.
we're not frozen down yet, and
Nope.
it's not, well, it's a little wet right now, but if you pick a moment when it's dried out, why can't they do dirt work?
Yeah, I don't see,
I don't think you want them working on the hill, though.
Well, if anything, I'll be changing the grade, I'll be making it less
Yeah,
steep.
Well, yeah,
So
it's
that
still
would
fairly
help.
steep.
That would help come springtime, if we have a wet season like we did last year or the year before.
If you can get the subgrade down to where he wants to be, where he should be, why would we object to that?
What's the distance from the work to the knotweed?
I don't know, I couldn't answer that. I know the knotweed is in the back corner where we haven't touched, so it's gotta be at least 30, 40 feet at the
Well,
minimum.
the proviso would be that you don't touch the,
Yeah, I wouldn't go beyond the silt fence that we put in place, limit of work. I gotta take the 2 trees down that was requested to take down. And then I could regrade it, get it all prepped. Come springtime, we could have it done relatively quick.
I don't know why we'd object to that. Would there be a reason why?
I mean, the only thing, I'm just trying to bring up the plan here, right? So, yeah, so I guess, so arguably, right, improving the grade would be desirable, right? Getting some fill in there. Don't see an issue with that. We just wouldn't want disturbance in any area where there's invasive species, right?
I don't think we're working where there's any invasive species. I don't think we brought the invasive species in to begin with. The stuff has been established, it's been there for years.
Well, understand that,
So-
right? But still, if you work with it, stir it up, right?
Understood.
It gives it the, pieces break off, particularly in knotweed, they're gonna regerminate somewhere. That's our concern, not blaming anybody for bringing it in. We're just like thinking, okay, don't wanna disturb that.
Do we know if that tree that I could cut down is got the Japanese knotweed on it? You were out there on site.
Yeah,
Is that what that is?
I mean, it's blind, I'm not,
That would
You don't know if it
I would
is?
imagine that
I
was
would.
probably bittersweet.
yeah, but it's.
I thought it was
wrapped around
bittersweet
and all that,
myself,
yeah.
but I don't know what Japanese knotweed actually looks like at the moment.
You'll know you'll liken it to bamboo.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm gonna just ask a question. So right now, given that we had some storms already, how's it looking like right
It
now?
looks fine right now.
Okay. 'cause-
We have no issues as of this afternoon when I went and looked at it.
Okay.
Hey, Tyler, would you be able to put up the site plan for this?
I can actually,
I got it, but I just,
I'm on Zoom right now.
I just thought it'd be easier to put it up on the screen, just so we can all
Sure.
visualize.
Yeah. So the reason I asked that is because that was the big, the butter had that concern.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yep.
right into his property.
Yeah,
We were thinking this would be all kind of figured out by this point in time, and I
Thank
think
you,
we're,
Tyler.
I have it Is it the 627? Yeah,
There we go. Beautiful.
I'll share it here.
All right, there we go.
Okay,
So, oh,
There we go, there we went.
he's got it.
there we go. So, yeah, maybe, there we go. So where are you looking to fill in work?
So if you're looking at the actual diagram on the screen, the back right-hand corner, it says approximate location of the previous existing tree. That section right there needs to get graded off. That's it. And then we need to pull the hill on the left-hand side from what it is existing.
So it's away from the property line.
Yeah, we gotta pull it back into the middle of the yard a little bit. And it will be going towards where it says approximate location of test pit.
Yeah, because that's what we had talked about.
Correct.
Right,
So
right.
those are the things I wouldn't mind doing. I wouldn't mind getting that done.
So moving the base of the slope back and then grading where the two trees were.
Yeah, the two trees are outside of the silt fence. The two trees that I've requested that we cut down are on the opposite side. So my intent is to cut them down, make the area safe, and not stump them, not touch them, not dig them up, just let them rot out. It's not going to affect anybody. They're sitting in the woods, they're sitting in the resource area. There's no need
But you're looking to
to,
grade over there too, right, or no?
I don't believe that I have grade in that area.
You don't have
That's
to
the
grade.
bottom of my hill.
So you're looking to take those trees down?
Take the trees down, put them in, get rid of them.
Move the toe of the slope back?
Not the toe, the top,
Oh, okay, the top.
the top. The toe at one time, the engineer had set up so it would go further in. And I requested we
That's
move
right,
the
that's
top
right. We're
over.
leaving that, we're moving the top.
Correct, we're moving
So
the top down.
So you're gonna move the top of the slope back and take down the two trees?
Correct.
What's
And
the
then
new
grade it
grade
off so all the
gonna
water runs to the opposite side of the property.
be? What's the new grade going to be?
That was the 1 and 3.
It's gonna be 1 and 3, correct. Instead of 1 to 1.
Well, I think it was 1 and 2 right now, I think, or it was
I'm
steep.
sorry?
It was steep, you're just gonna.
Yeah, it was basically,
It's
1
too
to 1.
steep
It was
where-
almost a 45-degree
Yeah.
angle, maybe even
that's-
steeper.
it's-
So we're gonna drop it down so it's less steep, less of a chance for it to erode.
Yeah.
It's gonna give it a larger area of a hill, so, there will be more water traveling down. We'll maintain the
Well,
silt
that's why
fence, so
you're
there's,
gonna have that, you have the, your,
drain.
the drain right there.
Yeah, that drain is not gonna be functional for this application. That's basically for the driveway at this point, and the downspout drain, to prevent water from going into the neighbor's yard.
Did we have that work in the NOI? I know the top of the slope we did. Did we put
The which one?
the trees?
Where's the knotweed in respect to the,
As far as I know, it's on, if you're looking at this picture, it's on the bottom left-hand corner.
Or what were you looking?
and
Bottom
where's the
left?
water going to run? You said the water's going to be.
The water, when I get done with it, on the back right, it's gonna go to the right-hand side.
On the top right?
The middle. It's gonna go in the middle of the yard. If you can, I don't know if you can read how the plan goes, but if you go from the corner of the house in the back right-hand side, it slopes down towards the back of it, and it's a gentle slope, it's all vegetated. My intent was to get the water to go into that area all from the beginning and have it absorb into the ground. When we're done with the project, the grass is gonna absorb it, and it's not gonna go anywhere to begin with unless we have a torrential rain.
But you have the knotweed that's there still.
Knotweed's on the opposite side.
It's over in here.
Correct.
Thank you, thank you.
I would just think that right now, it's, with the bank the way it is, it's settled in enough that it's really not, it's just running off of it. And if you lessen that slope, it's gonna be disturbed gravel.
Yep.
But if we get a heavy rain, it's gonna wash up.
It'll wash out either way. It could wash out the way it is now.
Well,
If
I've
I
been
change
driving
the
by it on a
slope,
regular basis, and I don't think it's really washed out at all with all the storms.
it's been good. It's been very good.
But now we want to disturb it, and my concern is,
If I do disturb it and I can get loom on it, that would be a benefit, but,
well.
the loom will wash away just as easy as gravel or sand.
would I be able to jump in here for a second?
Yeah, because I think.
Okay, so-
Yep, go ahead.
It's not, Commissioners, other projects are still actively working and grading during this time. So it's not out of the realm of possibility to still grade that slope. No matter what, if we get a torrential rain, there's gonna be erosion. I think it might be beneficial to gear the conversation now to letting him continue work, because we wanna get this fixed sooner than later. We wanna get it fixed before a mud season. Right, I would like to note that the resource area behind the house is an old drainage ditch. It's also an intermittent stream, but it was designed for that neighborhood to be able to take stormwater from people's lawns. So I don't know if that changes your mindset just a little bit, to make you more amenable to this, path forward. But what I would suggest is guiding the conversation to different erosion control measures. There are things like blankets, there are things like netting, you could do secondary containment, you could do, I know we typically don't do hay bales, but you could wrap hay bales in burlap, you could build up a I won't say a buffer, because that will be confusing. You can build up, a retaining wall, so to speak, at the toe of the slope. There are things that we can do to make sure that erosion is contained. The knotweed issue, yes, it would be nice to eradicate it, and it will be eradicated, but it is also a systematic problem in that neighborhood. So it's not singular just to this property. And considering we're outside of the timeline to treat the knotweed, our options are moving forward to conditions, stopping work when he could still feasibly get another month of work done, or keeping this on the docket until spring.
So you have some erosion controls.
I put a oversized sock on there.
Yeah.
You guys had requested a 8-inch, I put a 12-inch.
What, down at the toe?
Yeah, all on the toe.
Okay, so we got something down.
Yeah, there is something, and if I regrade it, she had mentioned putting a berm at the bottom of the hill, and that's something I will probably do until we had loom on there anyway. Be proactive with it so that we don't have issues together. I do everything I can to prevent issues.
So you're
And
thinking,
even before you guys got involved,
Yep.
we had a washout into the neighbor's yard. We rectified it before it was even brought into anybody's attention. It's not, we didn't fix things because he complained. He complained after we'd fixed some of the stuff, but he had to voice his opinion,
okay.
which he has that right to do.
So you've got erosion controls.
I have erosion control in place now,
And,
oversized.
understood, and you'd be comfortable if we, because you're thinking about it anyway, required a berm at the base of the slope.
I'll do it anyway, but you can request it if you want.
Yep.
Yeah?
Okay, so the only thing I can't find is whether those trees were in that.
So if you're looking at the,
Didn't we agree to have remove?
We had them on the plan, we just said.
Yeah, I know we had 'em.
located on-
they may be on a different plan. I'm not sure,
I
but
have a plan with them on it. I'm just
If-
trying to think procedurally how to.
if you're looking at this map, this plan right here, where it says approximate location of existing erosion control on the back, bottom left-hand side, that's approximately where the trees are. And I believe they're in the 25 to 50-foot zone or resource area. I don't believe they're in the 0 to 25. They're pretty close to the property line.
So, Ricolai, procedural question for you. So, we'd be looking at approving the NOI with special conditions, right?
Yep.
My question is, because we're late in the season, we'd want to write up the conditions, I would think vote on this at the next meeting. I hate to lose 2 more weeks where we could be grading, but I can't think of a procedural way to navigate that unless you have a thought.
No,
Okay.
I know.
So you came to the same conclusion I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the commission has approved test pits in the middle of a notice of intent, but there's already language for test pits. There
Yeah.
isn't language for grading. So in that case, yeah, it would have to be another 2 weeks, but at that point, I mean, I don't know, who knows what kind of winter we'll get. It's very feasible he could still even work into December,
Oh, yep.
you know? So,
If we have a winter like we've had the last couple, we could possibly grow grass.
yeah.
We have denied him to grade out there.
Well, what I'm saying is, so we're not looking to deny him.
We have. Previous to this, we have
Right,
said, don't
everything's
do any
been on
work.
hold, so, yeah. So the move would be, so, James, procedurally, right, just to organize this and get it in the package, we could vote on, we'd need to do that by our next meeting. So it'd take us another 2 weeks, but
Okay.
again, you know, then it's up to the commission, but, you know, let's ask questions. So, you know, what we'd be looking to do is condition the plan by a licensed professional on,
Applicator.
yeah, by March 1st, and the invasive species control plan be executed by June 1st, right? So that'd be by the back half of the spring at the latest. We condition the erosion control stay in place, and that a berm be added to the base of the toe of the slope. And then he'd be okay at that point to move the top back, as we actually requested, and take those trees down.
And the berm would be in place until I get loom in place. Because once I put loom down, would seed it, and that
Are you gonna
berm,
put the berm in front of the
I could put the berm in
sock?
front of the sock.
Until.
And then when it comes time to grade it, I can pull that berm, make it part of the grade,
So
and
you're
then spread the
thinking that
loom.
the berm is gonna be higher than the sock?
It might be. But it'll be small, it'll be smaller, a better place to capture the
I
water.
don't know why you put a berm in there if you got a sock down there.
Because he volunteered it.
Oh,
He was gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if he wants to put a berm in there, that's
Yeah.
fine. but-
So berm in place until 75% coverage of the revegetation. That's our typical standard.
that might be difficult.
Okay?
Because if I have a berm there, I'm not gonna be able to bring, if I have vegetation growing, I'm not gonna be able to bring a machine back in there to
Okay.
regrade.
Okay, got it.
So-
Good point, okay.
I say the berm
Unless-
stays in place till I have loam spread, and I can seed it. Or I can get a better erosion control on top of it, whether it's the hay mats with seed in it, or, hydro seed, or something that's gonna keep the soil from moving.
You can just pull the berm back up the slope. and-
Correct. I can pull the berm back as,
Grade it down.
right when I'm ready to hydro seed, I can pull the berm back into it, and then we can do it. I can make the berm out of loam.
Regalai, do you have a suggestion on that?
That's fine. I was actually gonna say if the berm wanted to be temporary, but if you wanna use it with actual, substrate material, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no
so
problem with that.
Berm in place until,
But the sock will stay in.
Sock will stay in
Sure.
until you guys give me the approval to remove it.
Yep,
okay, so berm in place till hydro seeding. Okay,
yep.
All
And commissioners, you can also, condition conformance reports or weekly reports, or do drive-bys just to make sure that things are, if you're concerned about erosion control, that is, so that we can get photos, document, just keep an eye on that, if that's your purview.
all right, that sound reasonable. Any other thoughts, input, idea? Love to get this moving along. Okay,
Too.
Not yet.
all right,
I'm actually moving my excavator this week, so I can move it right over there.
okay. All right, so that'll be our plan. It'd be good even if you could zoom in next time, just so we'll
Yep.
read through the conditions, make sure, we'll have it in writing, but just so we all agree that it's what we agreed to, right? And that'll be on the public record, and then we'll vote, and then hopefully we can get this thing moving along
Excellent.
one way or the other.
I like it. Thank you.
It was helpful that you came in, thank you. It's good to see you.
I'm sorry I missed last week.
Yeah.
I tried getting on Zoom
We saw you,
a
man.
dozen times, and
You're here,
I
right? It's
just,
good. We got a lot done.
we did.
All right, thank you, James.
Thank you.
All right, so, I'm sorry. We got to have a motion to, Louis, you're up, if you don't mind, continue the NOI on 260 Daniel Street.
Public comments?
Oh, I did not. Any comments from the audience or on Zoom for 260 Daniel Street? Thank you, guys. All right, hearing none. Louis,
Take it away. I'll give you a motion to continue the public hearing for 260 Daniel Street for November 13th at 7:02 PM.
Second.
All right,
Vote to continue.
Vote to continue.
continue.
Continue?
Continue.
Matthew, you have to
Continue.
abstain, sorry. Okay, I should have called you on the other one. All right, thanks a lot, James.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate
Enjoy your
it.
night.
All right.
Thank you.
We're all leaving?
All right. Wow,
You'll be talking less radio.
that's all right. Next, we have, and I see Brad, good to see you, the NOI for Lot 2, Forge Parkway. How you doing?
Great, how's everyone doing?
Really good.
All right. Microphone's all over the place.
Stereo, Brad.
Yeah, I know. All right. Sorry, my voice is, I'm not sick, I just, I coach youth hockey, and I promise I'm a nice coach. I always say this, but I have a very weak voice, so
That's all right.
lost it a little bit last night, but, so, yeah, anyways.
Anything you want to say? I did talk to Rick this afternoon.
Yep.
Hopefully he got you. You know, we were hoping to talk about is the plans for the
For ret-
retaining wall.
Yep, so I did, after Rick told me, I emailed over the plans just to Tyler, and I brought some copies,
Excellent.
so.
Tyler, do we have that in the drive, or?
Should be present on the drive, anything that you submitted recently.
Okay. Today even? Like late? in the day?
Not today.
All right, so can we grab-
That
Sure.
would be in the November 13th.
This would have been something we just got this afternoon,
Okay.
late in the day, because I talked to Rick.
I might not have that held later.
So thanks for bringing these in.
course. I think I have 6 I don't know, 6 copies.
Louis and I could share.
Yeah, don't worry.
Who do you want in, so? Just kidding.
We're gonna have the tiebreaker.
Thank you.
I want Richard to have his, because we could probably particularly use his input on it. Oh, you can have it. Okay.
Those are the stamped engineer plans. This was also the request by the planning board.
Okay.
So, we did close that public hearing with the planning board at our last meeting, just so you know.
Okay, you
Didn't
did.
vote yet, but the meeting was closed.
Oh.
And this was just one of our,
One of the things you submitted, right?
yep, this was the last thing, they just wanted to, check the box to make sure we had the engineered plans.
Okay.
And we are going to see them on Monday. But it's a precast concrete retaining wall.
So it's blocks.
It is.
Yeah, the precast blocks, you don't have any tiebacks, the blocks?
So, yeah, they're actually,
Okay, there you go, you got the battered wall.
yeah, so the way these blocks work, they're a little different than Ready Rock and what, I guess, maybe I'll say just a block. They have actually the normal retaining wall, you're gonna have your stone and your drainage behind the block. Where these blocks are, which for a little bigger retaining walls, they actually have a face, I'll say, of the actual wall, and then the stone goes in the actual cell of the retaining wall, and then it has its tie back. So if you look at the bottom base of those blocks, some of them go anywhere from 6 feet all the way to 12 feet. So they're pretty deep on the bottom, which is your tie back in, but they're filled with stone, and your drainage actually goes through the blocks. So they're pretty strong.
That's a nice wall.
Yeah, it is. It's a good system. It's good. It's a very efficient way and a good way for
And you
these
can get
things.
it to it from the backside, you don't have to go down the front.
Yep, we're filling up, so, we don't have to dig this out. We're gonna work our way up, fill to it, put our drainage in, so it's, that part of it's, will be efficient. Yeah,
These are good walls.
they are. They're good walls.
I've done those in the past.
That's good.
Thanks.
So this won't, basically the perimeter where your area of work is, where you had outlined.
This is pretty much the
It's-
perimeter of our
it's the
work,
same,
yeah.
Right, okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
That was
exactly.
kind of, I think that's why we were like looking for this to make sure nothing's changed, because I know when you propose something, you still need to go design it, and
Yeah.
things can be subject to change.
Yep.
But it's good that it maintained its footprint.
We did it to be, when we started this, with Rick Gaudreau, who's also on, we had this wall in our design intent. So we had already what we wanted to do, the size of that. So we, as we started, we knew what we were gonna go. I just didn't have the finalized, but things do change, as you
Yeah.
mentioned. So, yeah, everything would be from that facial wall, working in,
Yeah,
to our site, so.
you can work it from the top and you do it back. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, those are
a
good.
very efficient way to do it on a wall.
You guys feel,
Oh, it's perfect,
No, this is.
okay, good.
perfect, yeah.
All right.
I just had a question.
Sure.
I don't know what page this is. Page 4, there's it says elevation, and then above it is a section of the wall.
Yep.
With a circle. Is that the drainage?
Yes, on the plans, we have an outlet that's on there.
I'm sorry, you have a what?
There's an outlet for drainage on the actual, our plans. That's what that little spot is on the wall. It's been on the plans.
Is it gonna be treated water?
Yes, and if Rick is on, he can speak a little more to that, but there is a riprap slope and stuff there.
I saw the riprap, but I just wanted to.
Yep, unless we lost him. I know he's away and his service isn't great.
I'll say too, he's on vacation.
Yeah, he's out in
I don't,
Oregon.
Oregon.
Sorry.
Yes, everything is treated, though, all the drainage from the recharge systems and everything for that overflow, it is treated.
If Rick is this iPhone or this person with iPhone wants to speak, they can.
It's probably, Rick's on his phone.
Yes.
There he is.
Hello?
Yeah, Rick.
Wow, all the way from Oregon.
Yes, this is Rick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, Rick?
We're doing well, thank you, and yes, I am the one on the iPhone. But to answer the question, yes, everything has been treated to be in compliance with the town of Franklin and the Mass DEP stormwater standards regarding TSS removal, infiltration, et cetera.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What time is it, Rick? 6:30?
It's earlier over there. He's not as
Happy
tired,
hour.
or he might be tired, he's just.
Happy hour.
It's actually 5:30.
Oh, we have another hand, or is that's Rick's hand?
That's right.
Okay. And any other questions on, and we'll take questions from the audience. So the idea was, that was one of the last remaining things we were looking for, was the details on the retaining wall. Fortunately, they had them done. Beyond that, I've written up conditions, which I thought we'd read, and then go to a vote, which we talked about last time. But before that, any questions on the project in general, or anything in regards to Lot 2 Forge Parkway?
I'm good.
No, I think that the only thing I had a question about the snow removal from the last plans, because it also said snow removal into resource area. I think.
So the plans, and, I mean, we can talk about this now, but put it in the conditions, right? So the way the plan's laid out is it did have a snow storage removal area, but it said construction snow storage removal. We're actually going to ask that be the snow storage removal location in perpetuity.
Okay.
It be changed in the plans. So I don't know if that helps address your concern, but there was a specific area on the plans.
Yes, it was, and I think that's what it was.
Okay. So, but discussion point, little foreshadowing. if you will. Okay. Any questions or comments on Zoom? All right, so with that, hey, actually, Bricolai, quick question for you. You still on?
Yep.
So, on the standard special conditions, and maybe I've just been overkilling it, when I state the numbers, I've typically been reading into the record what they refer to, is that required, or can I just read the numbers?
You can just read the numbers.
Oh,
It's up to you. So we have it, we have it posted,
Good.
publicly, so as long as we say standard special conditions, it references.
Everybody just breathed a collective sigh of relief from being included. All right,
Hi, Dad, by the way.
Hey, Ricola, how you doing?
Good.
all right. So what we've got for the findings pursuant to the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act is public water supply, private water supply, groundwater supply, storm damage prevention, prevention of pollution, and protection of wildlife habitat. The standard special conditions, which I no longer have to read the description of, are 19, 20, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Did you have a question, Rick? Okay.
No.
37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 44, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, and 51. And for additional special conditions, what we have is 52, applicants shall add notes to the project or site plans indicating that disturbance will occur in the 0 to 25-foot buffer zone as a result of the hand removal of invasive species and the updated plans submitted to the Conservation Commission Department before the commencement of work. An updated impact summary form shall be submitted to the Conservation Department and Commission. So that's the way we talked about it, Rick, so that should make sense? Okay,
He's lost. in the-
all right. But that way we don't have to put the disturbance figure on the, 53, applicant shall add notes to project and site plans referencing the O&M plan for the subsurface infiltration system and updated plans to be submitted to the Conservation Commission and Department before the commencement of work. When I looked in the plans, there was one line referencing the infiltration area, but not maintenance for the on the plans for the subsurface infiltration system itself. I did see that there was very detailed O&M plans, look like even from the manufacturer in the drainage report.
Yep.
So,
We can put that as part of that.
yeah, even reference that, yeah, just want to make sure it's tied into
Sure.
that. Okay. Applicant will add notes to the project and site plans
Yep.
indicating that the location of the subsurface infiltration basins will be restricted during construction to avoid soil compaction. Specifically, notes indicating any stockpiling as well as vehicles and equipment should be restricted from these areas. The updated plans containing these notes to be submitted and approved to and by the Conservation Commission Department for the commencement of work, and we had talked about that, so that should be.
I don't know if Rick has his hand up.
Rick, you got your hand up?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
Can you, yeah, so we had actually included in the drainage report an operation and maintenance plan that very specifically outlines the maintenance requirements, both construction phase and long-term, for the stormwater system, including the underground infiltration system.
That's what I was just saying to Brad, right? I saw that, the storm tech in that report. If we could just get a tie back and a reference on the plans to that?
Okay.
Just, you figure people are going to be looking at the plans, right, on site and probably not studying that O&M piece, so we just like to, right, we want to have it advertised where people are going to be looking at it, if we could.
Not a problem, thank you.
Thank you. So then we go to 55, applicant will amend the operating and maintenance plan for the subsurface infiltration system to be continued in perpetuity and to the amended O&M plan to be submitted and approved to and by the Conservation Commission Department before the commencement of work. So we talked about that. That should be no issue. Applicant, this is to the point, Nicole, you were talking about, applicant will update the project and site plans to indicate snow storage areas in perpetuity, in parentheses, eliminating the reference to construction period for the snow storage area, and the updated plans be submitted to the Conservation Commission Department before the commencement of work. So just looking for everybody to store snow there all the time. Yep. Right, okay. The applicant shall, 57, the applicant shall submit an initial monitoring report at the completion of the work and plantings in the invasive species management area to the Conservation Commission Department prior to the certificate of compliance being issued, and the applicant shall submit additional monitoring reports for each of the next 2 consecutive growing seasons on the success of plantings and the eradication of invasive species in the invasive species management area to the Conservation Commission Department prior to the certificate of compliance being issued. Talked about all that, so that should be no issue. Beta had recommended that we have, collectively to us, that we have a metric for success. So this is what we put together in the conditions. The applicant shall schedule a site visit to confirm 75% or greater coverage of native plantings as being accomplished within the invasive species management area prior to certificate of compliance being issued. 75% coverage is pretty much our standard. We just want to see 75% growth come in. Give us a call, we'll come out, take a look. Okay. The applicant shall provide the name of the company that will be doing the work in the invasive species management area, including a copy of the Massachusetts pesticide certificates of all herbicide applicators to the Conservation Commission Department prior to the commencement of the invasive species management work. 61, the applicant shall revise the project and site plans to provide the exact location of all exclusively native plantings within the 0 to 25 foot and 25 to 50 foot buffer zones, and the updated plans be submitted to the Conservation Commission Department for approval before any plantings occur and prior to the certificate of compliance being issued. You guys had asked for flexibility and not have it be a condition before construction, so certificate of compliance is what
That'd be
we
great.
agreed
Thank
on.
you.
Applicant shall confirm to the Conservation Commission Department if groundwater is encountered at the site during construction of the retaining wall, and if so, stop work immediately, contact the Conservation Department. A subsequent dewatering plan must be submitted to and approved by the Conservation Commission Department prior to the restart of work. And the applicant shall provide the Conservation Commission Department with a stormwater pollution protection plan prior to the commencement of work. You guys are doing that anyway, just like a copy. So that's what we got. I think it's pretty much everything we talked about.
It is.
So you guys good? Any? All right.
I'm good, yep.
Let's approve it.
So, yeah, so what we'll do is, Michael, you're up, we'll take a motion to close the hearing on the NOI for Lot 2 Forge Parkway.
Okay, did we get?
Oh, wait, yeah, no, we're good, yep, we're good to go.
No public comment or anything?
Well, we did that before the condition. I was thinking the same thing, but I'm like, we already did that, so we're on our game.
All right. I'll give you a motion to close the public hearing for Lot 2 Forge Parkway for NOI.
Second,
All right,
vote to close.
Vote to close.
vote to close.
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 Close?
Abstain. Thank you. All right, Roger, now you get the honors of a motion to approve the NOI for Lot 2 Forge Parkway.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the NOI for Lot 2 Forge Parkway
With conditions as stated.
with conditions as stated.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll
Good
second
catch.
that.
All right.
And a vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve.
Approve?
Abstain.
All right, motion approved. Brad, thanks for coming in.
Same, thank you to the commission, really
Yep,
appreciate
yep.
it.
Rick, thanks for dialing in all the way from Oregon.
Just think you guys will save a little more time, you don't have to read the descriptions, and you get the numbers now for all the conditions, all the time.
Brad, you were here on an auspicious night, it was all good. All right. Next, we have the NOI for the Nicholas Drive Prospect Street culvert repair. Derek, good to see you.
Hello. It's nice to be here. I appreciate being here, and thank you for having me. I'd like to start by saying I know I caused a bit of rigmarole with this filing, this submission, and I'd just like to sincerely apologize to the commission for everything that transpired. I'd also like to apologize to the Conservation Department, Ricolai and Tyler, for how that occurred. But I know we've worked together well in the past for a couple of different projects, and I've disrupted that. So I look forward to having this conversation, any conversations that need to happen in the future, to make not only this project whole, but anything else that comes up in the future.
Thanks, Derek.
Additionally, I know that Beta is, if I understand correctly, they're going to be reviewing it.
Yep.
We have that all set up, so anything that they have that comes in, recommendations, we'll discuss, requirements, we will complete. Any gaps in the submission will be fulfilled in a timely fashion, whatever you guys decide, or as soon as possible otherwise. So thank you for having me here tonight. Back in April 29th, received a call from a resident on Nicholas Drive who abuts the stream that runs through there. They contacted the DPW front office staff to request an inspection of the town-owned culvert that abuts her property. She stated a condition existed which she had never encountered before, which was water breaching the level of the manicured turf grass in her backyard. I inspected the area the following day on April 30th and contacted the resident to discuss the situation. I advised her that the property abuts a large drainage area, which is the area right by Schmidt's Farm, kind of behind it, all the way back to Washington Street. And while I respected her insight into the changing conditions, the area in question was currently underwater. We had received several days of continuous rain, and it's not uncommon that we see culverts that the water is elevated above the pipe itself. And when that's a situation, it's not advisable to go and blindly start pulling stuff out because you have no idea what you're grabbing, and it's not safe for the employees. So the area in question was currently underwater from those conditions, and I also advised her that we would attempt to unclog what at that point was a likely clogged culvert. Actionable items would be to slowly unclog the pipe so that we wouldn't send a high velocity of water downstream, potentially causing adverse effects in those areas. The stormwater crew inspected and partially unclogged one of the pipes on April 30th, 2025. We further unclogged the pipe on May 1st, 2025. The resident was still extremely unsettled by what she perceived to be a massive and catastrophic blockage of the pipes. She and I had additional and lengthy discussions on May 2nd, 2025 and May 6th, 2025. At this time, we were still getting rain and the water level was still high. So not terribly uncommon that that pipe would still be under some water. I stated to her that we could not currently take significant action as there were periodic rain events occurring, and it was not uncommon or expected that the rain totals would contribute to the existing conditions. On May 9th, 2025, the resident contacted the Franklin Police Department stating there was a clogged pipe in her backyard. I dispatched a stormwater employee immediately, yet conditions were similar to what we had encountered the previous days. And on the downstream side, on that May 9th inspection and effort, the discharge size was discharging approximately 50% of the pipe volume downstream. So we did know that it was flowing, but it did seem like there was some blockage that, due to the current conditions, we could not address immediately. On May 12th, 2025, the water had subsided enough to inspect the top 50% of the pipes. There was still that baseline level of where the water was. In some photos that were attached to this NOI, one pipe was visible, but yet the other one was experiencing impeded flow due to debris and fallen stones. The stones that impeded the pipe originated from the dry laid stone head wall, which is estimated to have been constructed approximately 100 years ago. At this time, a few stones were carefully removed by hand from their obstructive position in order to enhance flow. It continued to rain this season. Subsequent rain events proved that a negative feedback loop was occurring. As the height of the water level ebbed and flowed with additional rain events, additional soil was washing away and undermining additional stones of that dry laid stone head wall. It was my professional opinion that remediation was needed to be conducted immediately in order to prevent a potentially catastrophic event, which could and would, if it occurred, undermine the structural integrity of the actual road of Prospect Street. It's a very narrow section of road by Nicholas. On the downstream side, there's about 2 linear feet beyond the edge of the road, and on the upstream side, there's about 8 to 10 linear feet. So very narrow section of road in itself, and the banks are also very narrow. The hazard was significant and the ramifications even more so. Should the road be undermined and subsequently closed at that culvert, it would not only instigate a costly and lengthy repair, but it would also impact emergency service response times and school bus routes. And Prospect Street in that section, I'm sure you all know, or Prospect Street in general is a bit unique where between Washington Street and 140 on the other side, there's no outlet other than Lake Street, which heads to Bellingham. On July 15th, 2025, the stormwater crew reestablished and stabilized the head wall along the southern bank of the roadway. A mini excavator was mobilized to carefully remove the remainder of the existing head wall. The excavator entered the work zone by traveling within 1 foot of the existing guardrail, entering on the side of Nicholas Drive. 2 police details were provided traffic control on that narrow stretch of roadway. 3 crew members were providing the labor for the work. The dimensions of what the existing head wall had been consisted of nearly 15 linear feet by 5 linear feet of small stone and boulders that were less than 1 foot in diameter. The bucket of the excavator removed the stone and was placed in a 1-ton DPW vehicle, which was parked on the roadway. The stones were transported to the Department of Public Works storage yard. 4 to 8 inch trap rock replaced the former head wall stones. This work remained within the footprint of the previously removed stone along the bank of the roadway. Due to the nature of the previous conditions which led to the emergency repair, a portion of the bank had eroded in front of the pipes. So some of the head wall was in a state of disarray, and when some of the stones had fallen in, like I described earlier, when the water had risen, it had taken soil that was exposed and brought it down. It was essentially being funneled toward the pipes. 3 half-yard buckets of sediment from that bank erosion were removed from in front of the pipes. Also, due to the poor condition of the existing 2 18-inch clay pipes, a 4-foot section of 18-inch corrugated plastic pipe was sleeved into each of the existing pipes in order to provide whatever additional strength it could, because the existing pipes at that head wall were chipped and cracked. And as we all know, for the characteristics of clay pipes, we don't install that anymore, we don't use it anymore, hasn't been used for a long time. Very brittle is the term that I would use to describe that. Mats were used to minimize the excavator tracks along its travel. A steel rake was used to smooth out the ridges that had formed from those. The area was then overseeded with a native seed conservation mix. Later, a section of asphalt was paved and extended from the edge of the existing roadway to beyond the crest of the trap rock. And this was done because we did not want the water to shed off of the road and immediately go underneath the trap rock that was laid and then continue to have an avenue of undermining the trap rock that was laid down. Sediment erosion control was reviewed for effectiveness approximately every 48 hours for the first week. The area was also monitored after ensuing rain events, and no adverse events regarding sediment and erosion were observed.
All right. Any questions?
Oh, thanks for that summary.
Yeah, thanks.
That outline in there kind of explains the,
Yep.
what was going on rather than the failure and the actions you guys took for that, so thanks.
I did notice on one of the pages what you said, they had plans attached. Did you have plans?
From the engineering department, I'm still waiting on them.
Okay.
So, no, they're not there yet. When I submitted this, I was anticipating that I would already have them. So
Okay,
that's
got it. Okay. Okay. And as far as we know, with all the current rain, success?
Yep. I check it about once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, depending.
Okay.
But ever since I've gotten down there, I haven't seen any adverse effects from it.
Okay. Okay. Other questions? All right, so Beta's taking a look at it. We'll love to get a copy of the plans.
Yes.
And see what Beta comes back.
I do believe there's a couple other gaps that I need to fill in as well.
Oh.
So I'll review everything, the correspondence between Conservation Department and myself.
Okay.
And make sure that everything gets submitted to you guys.
Okay, great. Okay. Bricolai, any comments?
No, so Beta does have it. Beta had asked for the plans as well. Typically, they can't start a review without plans.
Sure.
But I told them to go ahead and just start documenting what's needed as they do. For the record and for the commission, we are missing plan and impact numbers. We're also missing performance standards under the Wetlands Protection Act, alternatives analysis, resource area descriptions, and their associated impacts, and a handful of other things. So I see you're writing that down, Derek. I also emailed that to you October 2nd.
Yep.
And then we're still waiting on DEP comments.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, Beta knows that they're able to start their review, so hopefully they come back with something soon. I actually talked about this project with John and Anna this morning, so.
I'll reach out to Mike tomorrow. I'll see the engineering department tomorrow.
Okay.
To follow up with that, and the other items as well.
Okay.
Comments from anybody online? All right. So with that, Nicole, you're up. You want to give us a motion to continue the NOI for Nicholas Drive Prospect Street culvert repair till August. There's some wishful thinking. November 13th at 7:04. Actually, no, I'm sorry,
7:03
7:03 now, because we got Latu Forge Parkway off the roster.
Give a motion to continue the NOI for Nicholas Drive / Prospect Street culvert repair, at 7:03
Yep,
on November 13th.
all right.
Second, vote to continue.
Vote to continue?
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 Continue.
Continue.
Matt, you're in.
I can do this one.
Yeah.
Continue.
All right, motion's continued. Thanks, Derek.
Thanks,
Thank
Derek.
you.
You're hanging for the RDA on the beaver deceiver, right?
Sure, yeah.
We have a couple of things on the agenda,
Yep.
but you're, okay?
I'm hanging out, yep.
All right, thanks. All right, so that close out our public hearings. Next, we're on to minor buffer zone activities.
Central Street?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, boy, I am a space shot today. Yeah, before we do that, NOI for 1199 West Central Street. Anybody here from 1199 West Central Street? Okay. So,
We did get plans.
yeah, we did get the updated plans with the color on them, which is good. Beta's got it, they're doing a review, so we're really waiting on that, and then we'll take a look at it. So, Matt, were you here all along from the beginning with,
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
This is the.
It's only the second week.
right, only second, yeah.
I
we-
think it's only the second
Yeah.
second meeting, right?
So Matt, this is a big day, right?
Very
We're
good.
looking for you to give us a motion to continue the NOI for 1199 West Central Street to November 13th at 7:04.
All right, I give you a motion to continue the NOI for 1199 West Central Street to November 13th at 7:04 PM.
Man, like an old pro.
Second, vote to continue.
Vote to continue?
Continue.
Continue?
Continue.
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 All right, good deal. Thanks for the catch, guys. All right, now we're on MBZA's, and we have 15 Northern Spy Road. Do we have anybody here from Northern Spy Road?
I think on Zoom, Ben Walbridge maybe the property owner.
Yep, that's
Hey,
us.
Ben.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So the floor is yours. Yep, okay, here we go. Yep, that's,
You may recall, the commission, I think, talked about this.
this is the shed. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So this is,
Yep.
yep. All right, go ahead.
Well, I guess what did you need from us? Just to go through the application or
No, I'll tell you what would be great is, so, actually, yeah, if you could blow that up. So you, let's go back to that first picture, and then what you can do for us, Ben, or you had yeah, if we can go back to that first picture that had the overview with the, there we go. Yeah, can we make that a little bigger? Right. So, just describe to us, based on your property, we see this, can you see that too, Ben?
Yep, I can see that.
Yeah, so just describe to us, relatively speaking, on your lot, we can see, but describe to us where you're putting the shed, and how you plan to accomplish that. Is there any equipment involved? And if so, how the equipment's gonna access that spot? And if not, just tell us that. And I think that should probably, and then if you have the dimensions of the shed, that would be great.
Sure. Yeah, so we're looking to get a 10 by 12 shed, like right off that area where like that red box, definitely not to scale, is on the photo.
Yep.
We're also gonna have about a foot to 2 feet around it as well, just to have, I guess, what would you call it? Crushed stone, just for drainage. It's gonna be done, like built professionally by, is it Parker Sheds?
Oh, okay.
So, like, we're not building it ourselves, or we're not having a contract, well, I guess they are. I don't know if they're considered contractors, but they're, the shed supplier. And then also for the crushed stone, like, we're gonna be getting a landscaper to do that. So I know we're gonna try and keep it, within 10 feet or maybe a little more than 10 feet away from the property line, which we got like the plot lines. So we're gonna give that information to the landscaper
ask him, make sure we give ourselves a little extra buffer room so we're in compliance with that restriction.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ben. Good job taking us through it. So, we got some work in the 50 to 100 foot and 200 foot riverfront area, about 50 to 100 foot buffer zone, 200 foot riverfront, pre-disturbed. But if you remember, we were looking at 2 locations. This was the more desirable from our perspective of the 2. So,
Yep.
yeah. So,
Yeah, definitely more desirable for us as well.
So recommendation, so questions on that, I guess, first. Okay. Recommendation is we approve the MBZA. Everybody good with that? So,
I am.
Richard, give us a motion to approve the MBZA on 15 Northern Spy Road.
I'll give you a motion to approve the minor buffer zone activity on 15 Northern Spy Road to November 13th.
Just approve, no days. We're just.
Oh, we
we're-
don't have to go through that.
We're giving him the, we're
Whoa.
voting to give him the thumbs up. We'll see what he does.
I vote to give you a motion to approve
All right,
15 Northern Spy Road.
perfect.
Vote to approve?
Well, second that.
A second?
All right.
Vote to approve.
All right, vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Approve?
Approve.
Approve?
You're in.
Approve.
All right, Ben, you're approved. Thank you for coming in and talking it through with us and completing the MBZA application and doing your due diligence on wetlands on your property. We really appreciate that, and I hope your shed comes out
Not a
great.
problem at all.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yep, have a great night.
Have a great night.
Have a great night.
All right, next we have 155 King Street. Do we have anybody here from 155 King?
Looks like not on Zoom.
Okay. So what we've got here, this seems fairly academic. He's looking to replace, you can see in this picture, right, he's got a decrepit wall. It
Yes,
actually, he's got it there, he's got an angle. So pre-disturbed, decrepit, looking to replace it. Part of the wall touches, where did I have that? Here we go. Part of the wall touches within 65 to 70 feet from the wetlands. He's got some wetlands on one corner of his property. So he's in the 50 to 100 foot zone, pre-disturbed, replacing that. Seems like a good decision
Oh, yeah.
to make. So, any questions, thoughts? Okay. So, Louis, want to give us a motion to approve the MBZA for 155 King Street?
I'll give you a motion to approve the MBZA for 155 King Street.
Second, vote to approve.
Vote to approve?
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 Approve.
Approve?
Approve.
All right, that's approved. The final MBZA we have is 381 Prospect Street. This is the deal where Rudy was installing a gravel strip or berm in front of a house on Prospect and pushed a bunch of sod into the wetlands. So he replanted, so he finished off the gravel, replanted the remaining area, nothing's grown. Contacted him, he's agreed to dress it with topsoil. I mean, it was just kind of, I think, a bad spot to put seed and reseed it. Our suggestion is he put up erosion controls and he's going to bring in topsoil. He offered to put in riprap. I don't think we want to do that. That would make me more of an impact and disturbance, but wanted to bounce it off of you guys. So I think the move forward is have him just bring in topsoil, reseed, and we'll keep an eye on it. Everybody's good with it. Okay. And he's been responsive, so that's good. So that'll be the next step on that. And then we are on to the RDA for the beaver deceiver. Derek, back up. So it didn't take that long.
Well, again,
Hello?
members of the Franklin Conservation Commission, on behalf of the town of Franklin, I retroactively submit this request for determination of applicability for a flex pond leveler which was installed in an emergency fashion located on town property, parcel 349-001-00000. Sorry, not used to using the trackpad here. So the highlighted parcel is the town-owned parcel. The Town of Franklin Department of Public Works is tasked with ensuring the protection of publicly owned infrastructure. Over the course of the previous 5 years, a generous portion of this obligation has been spent mitigating beaver blockages and impacts to town infrastructure and, by extension, private property. Situated at the southeastern corner of the Town of Franklin, Faith Pond presents a unique scenario. The Town of Franklin holds ownership of parcel 349001, at which Faith Pond is located, while the property immediately downstream from Faith Pond is owned by the Villages at Oak Hill Condominium Trust. In response to a residential inquiry and in discussion with the permitting specialist of the Franklin Conservation Department, a hazard was determined to be present regarding the pond spillway and proximal beaver activity. Due to heavy, frequent rainfall in June of 2025, the residents of the Villages at Oak Hill felt compelled to remove by hand portions of the beaver dam that have been constructed at the Faith Pond spillway. The residents recognized the risk of the beaver dam topping, which in their estimation would cause devastating private property loss at Building 19 Faith Way, as well as Building 18 Tuscany Drive. Now, let me try and put on the other layer here. See how well we can see it. You can see the spillway, if you can see my cursor on the screen, should be right here. What was happening is this was completely blocked by beaver activity, and the pond was beginning to top over in this area here, and this is it's not flat. It's a hilly section where you could see the stream had redirected itself away from the spillway area and was in a trajectory to go right toward Building 19, Units 8 and 6. So in response to this situation, I conducted a site visit to meet with representatives from the Condominium Trust and to assess the situation. Upon arrival, it was apparent that the beavers had extensively constructed their dam along the northern portion of the spillway. While on site, it was also recognized that the beavers had extended their effort beyond the scope of the spillway to such an extent that the overflow was now seeping through a location 15 feet northwest of the traditional or historical spillway. This finding caused concern amongst the Condominium Trust and myself, a scenario that created conditions because effectively a new spillway was established. With this, and considering future rain events and their impacts, it was apparent that the new spillway would cause the overflow to be discharged in the immediate direction of Building 19. As previous attempts to lower the water level by hand were proved fruitless, the beavers were patching it within 12 hours. It was determined immediate action, it was my opinion that immediate action should be taken. The Condominium Trust, separate from my initial discussion with them, had been in contact with a contractor who was willing, able, capable, and competent to install the flex pond leveler. In order to mitigate and significantly reduce the town's liability in regard to private property damage of Building 19 and 18, I expressed to the Oak Villages Condominium Trust that they can proceed with contracting the contractor to install a flex pond leveler at the spillway of Faith Pond. The installation of this device not only mitigated the imminent hazard that was present, it would also alleviate the burden of resources that were a certainty to maintain non-hazardous levels of water in Faith Pond. Over the years, we've had, I've lived in town basically my entire life, and in the last few years, I've encountered new ponds that I didn't even know existed. For example, one that's behind Wilson Drive, that's on town-owned property. Apparently, it used to be, from what I heard, word of mouth, a stocked pond, and there's a very small, tight spillway. That's another area that we've been keeping an eye on very closely. Separate from that, there's been somewhere between 8 and 12 culverts themselves that have just been consistently clogged up. Delcart property has been something we keep our eye on, so there's, Beaver Pond has its own spots. This is something that we see time and time again, and some efforts in the past between DPW and certainly the Conservation Department did a heavy lift on it and carried their weight to implement a program of installing some flex pond levelers at various locations, and those have proved to work out quite well. The installation of this device not only mitigated the imminent hazard that was present, sorry, I'm already repeating myself here. I respectfully request that the Conservation Commission issue a negative determination confirming that the proposed work does not run counter to the Wetlands Protection Act and subsequently require the filing of a notice of intent.
All right. Rika Lai, you have any?
I thought we loved beaver deceivers.
Generally, yes. I was going to ask the expert, right? This sounds very.
I appreciate that, Richard. So I actually wasn't involved in this install and it's after the fact. So I would just need some time to review it. So I would actually ask that it be continued to the next meeting and then it will likely be approved. I just want to ask, did Beaver Solutions actually do the install or did DPW?
Beaver Solutions.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so I would just ask to continue just so I can give a thorough review and then can get this off the list.
So I remember these folks came and talked to us several times.
Oh, were those people that,
Yeah.
that come in and we approved it?
I
Didn't we
thought we
approve putting in?
So that's not town property or that you had approved. So that's the villages at Oak Hill.
Yeah.
Oh,
So this is on town property that abuts the villages at Oak Hill. And yes, they're also having issues and we will talk about them probably in the next few weeks.
Oh, so that
But
was
separate projects.
That was a separate one. Okay, thank you.
Correct. Yep.
So the beavers
They'll-
moved from one pond to the other.
of course they did.
Yes. Yeah, they'll be back in probably by the next meeting. So,
Yep.
yep.
Sorry.
Fast workers.
They're industrious.
All right, any questions? So so Derek, we'll just give Bree a last chance to
Sure.
go through it, and we'll come back and take away at that next meeting. Thank you for coming in and presenting.
Absolutely.
So, actually, I don't think we need to continue that, Bree, do we?
Unless you're voting on it tonight, but I haven't had a chance to review it.
No, I'm
So-
saying we don't need to, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we need to, okay. So
Not
we're,
necessarily, no, it's not a public hearing.
right,
just general
that's what I was
business. Yep.
thinking, right. So,
Yep.
all right. So Derek, thank you. Thank you for coming in on
Sounds good.
both those, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll see you on the 13th, if
All
not
right,
before.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Next, we've got Bogostal Brook and Adam. Sounds like we were able to figure it out this time, right?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Guys. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for making it in.
Oh, for sure.
Yep. So this, we've got an enforcement order out, right? This is the property in Charles River, had some unpermitted work. Adam's the landscaper who did the work. He and I think as we talked about, the owner, Mark Fryermuth, are committed to remedying the situation.
Good.
So Adam just had some questions as to what exactly we were looking to have done. We had talked about, Adam was removing, I know we termed it mulch. First off, I should say, is there anything you wanted to say out of the gate or questions you had?
Oh, no, I think Mark went over most of it with me.
Okay.
He just said I needed to scrape up the wood. I didn't know, I honestly didn't know the wood chips were fine. I was just kind of going, he was like, yeah, can you put a big wood chip bed in and some shrubs? I'm like, yeah, sure. So it was just at the bottom of the property. I didn't know it'd be an issue, but it's not an issue taking the wood chips out either. So if you need me to do that and put whatever seed blend you need me to put in, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, we wanted to get the wood chips removed. Adam's comment, which we talked about, was they're biodegradable, but the concern is they'd still potentially smother anything we planted. So it'd be best to take them out. We can send a recommended seed mix to you, Adam, get that replanted. The other thing we had talked to Mark about having done, and I don't know if you're going to be involved in this, since it's the other side of the property, and I don't think you'd done work there, but he's got a path arguably speaking, through the woods to the wetlands where he's dumping yard waste into the wetlands. So he needs to remove that and reseed that path to have that regrow. So I don't know if you're going to be involved in that. If so, we can talk about it. If not, okay.
That we never did anything with.
Right. So
he has another landscaper that mows the lawn and all that stuff. I don't know if that's what he uses to go dump, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if he's going to have you help him clean that up. So no issue, right? He committed to clean that up too. So your role will be to pull up the wood chips and reseed, and we'll send you recommended native seed mix.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all. Just have to scrape it up the skid steer and I'll go use the wood chip somewhere else.
Okay.
So.
You're gonna scrape it up with a skid steer?
It's a huge bed. It's like the whole length of
It's better than
the
skid steer,
property.
okay.
It could take a pretty long time to, I'd have to slowly chip away at it. That's how we put the chips in there, you know, because it was like, God, it probably at least like 60 yards of chips or something. It was a big bed. It wrapped all the way around.
I don't know, I thought we're trying to keep them out of that area.
Well, it's already mulched, right? So they're just taking it.
Yeah, I wanted to disturb the weather.
You're not gonna go beyond that. So it's just gonna be that area where you mulched it up. You're just picking it up and reusing it, so.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of area that this mulch is in there,
Okay.
so I think.
Not a lot of good solutions.
When would you plan, I mean, if we recommend a seed mix, when would be the best time to do that?
Be a little late to do it now.
Yeah, I was gonna, timeline wise, when we would
That
start.
might work. You just have to see in the spring whether anything comes up.
I would think it's, I mean, given the weather in the towns,
Well.
if we get it, I mean, Adam, when,
Well,
what's
he
your,
knows best.
what's your time frame for thinking you're gonna get this done, I guess, is a question. That'd be germane to that.
It's really whenever you guys need it done. The only thing is, we had to delay the work multiple times because it gets so wet back there. And all our machines sink when we go back there if it's not dry.
We're getting 2 inches of rain tonight, so, yeah.
That's what I'm saying, like, I need a
gotta
dry
dry
stretch
out.
and go assess it, or there'll be a lot of sinking going on. It's really muddy back there, you
I don't
know?
want that.
He was trying to get rid of the mud, basically, trying to do something with the water situation at the bottom. I don't even know why he wanted to do all that, but I was like, okay, well, if you want to do that, sure. I didn't know it'd be an issue, so, or I wouldn't have done it, but,
So, I
yeah,
guess, quick question
I'll keep
for us,
up.
I mean, if we're not gonna replant, we're probably better off leaving the wood chips there till the
Yeah.
spring, right? Revisit it then?
yeah.
Probably.
I mean, otherwise, it's just gonna be runoff,
It's
right?
gonna be run off and he's gonna go there when shades down,
All right,
probably.
It's not
It's that
it's not a
time.
big slope area. I mean, it's pretty level back through there, so. But if you pick it up now and you just make it bare soil, I mean,
that's gonna be a mess, right?
you got issues with it.
Potentially.
Now, if he wants to wait until the spring to do it, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine with me, whatever you guys want to do.
that makes more sense than trying to do it now.
I think so.
You're pushing the limits a little bit.
You guys good?
Yeah, it seems to be getting pretty cold right now too, so nothing to really germinate, I don't
Nothing's
think.
gonna grow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, yeah. So we'll leave the enforcement order in place. We'll let's revisit this in, I'd say, March, right? To talk about getting it going.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
If you got some decent weather.
Yeah, I mean, at least that way we're back on the radar, I say like the second meeting in March. Okay. All right, so everybody's good with that? Is it- We have a hand, Bricolai, did you have a thought?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, and this might just be for posterity, but native seeds, we're still within the window to lay down native seeds,
Okay,
just FYI.
so
With the-
would you recommend we
So you-
get going on this?
I mean, you can, sure, if that's what you would like to require of him. If he's laying down seed, sure. If he's doing plugs, no.
I guess the question is how much growth we get. We're just worried about,
It's not actually growing this season. It's cold stratifying for the winter, so
Right.
that it'll sprout next spring.
Okay. I think we go with the plan to wait till,
That's fine.
okay.
Just because I think he mentioned that it's gonna be.
Yeah, it does
Get it out.
still grow next spring, but the thing is, like, any late seeding I do in the fall, it grows kind of in the spring, but it always grows better if you plant it right away and it grows. That's usually how the best bet to do it.
Okay.
Sure, if you know the native seeds, that works, Adam.
All right, so
Great.
we'll reconnect. Have a great winter, Adam.
I know, yeah. Let's see how much snow we get this year. It's been actually been pretty nice lately. I've been enjoying the not too bad of winters. It's been good.
We'll see you in the spring.
All right,
All right, see you then. See you in March.
good plan.
For this one, for the meetings up to next spring, this spring coming up, do we still, do we highlight this in every meeting to continue on the
That's a
enforcement?
good point. Yeah, we'll need to extend the enforcement order.
Of course.
Rich is good at that, isn't it?
That's his job. He's in charge of the House Subcommittee on Enforcement Orders.
Yeah, it's just because,
Everybody's a comedian.
On this commission, it's true.
Subject matter expert.
That's a good catch.
We can do that. I mean, we're very practiced at extending these orders.
Just so it doesn't, so we don't.
Doesn't drop
Yeah,
off.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah.
you're 100% right. Good catch. All right, good. All right.
Thank you, Louis.
You're welcome.
Minutes from October 16th, I actually used them pretty heavily with the Lot 2 Forge Parkway, so I went through that, but I don't know if you guys saw anything. You guys?
Good.
All right, who's up? Michael, you want to give some motion to approve the minutes?
I'll give you a motion to approve the minutes from October 16th, 2025.
Second, vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
Vote to approve.
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 Approve?
Approve.
We have a discussion.
And discussions, Franklin Country Club, I don't know if you recall when we were voting on that, they put in a request to change the terminology from a deed restriction to a deed notice. So, talked to Mark Sorrell, he had a great suggestion, since the words deed restriction came from Mass DEP, he suggested we ask them if they were okay with it. So Pre-Colli sent Mass DEP a note, they were okay with deed notice. So we're going to amend that and make the change, but it's good, because that was one of my concerns.
Yeah.
Pre-Colli, your hands up, I don't know if you have a comment on that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it would actually not be a discussion. That should be in permit modification.
Oh, good point.
Which is fine, it's all general business. So I just wanted to correct that for the record. And then just mention, I'm not sure if the commission at the last meeting signed on the conditions. If not, you will have to sign the original and then the amended. You have to sign both. More of a note for Tyler if he has that or not, but,
I have the
Anyways.
original. I could try to get another signature for the amended too, if we're intending to have them sign both tonight, if I'm understanding correctly.
Well, I don't know
Well-
if we need to do them both tonight, but we should sign that one tonight.
Right.
Right, I think is the point.
so, yeah, is the applicant in council chambers?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, so then how about we move, thank you again for doing that. I really appreciate the assist as I'm remote. Then why don't you just sign the original and then put the country club on the permit modification for 1113 and actually invite them back in?
Okay,
That's what I would suggest. So you're not making decisions to their order of conditions without them present, or at least letting them know you're gonna make the change so they have the opportunity to come in.
that's a good point, right? I mean, they asked for it, but before we do it, they should, yeah,
Yep.
I get you. Yep, okay.
We like transparency.
No, that's a great point. Okay, I like that. Okay. Problem partially solved, almost. Bricolage taking back on the results of the site visits, or the site visits themselves, so I don't think we actually need to go through those. And then we did the meeting minutes, but one other topic, just wanted to cover and make sure everybody was comfortable with. So, well, Bricolage, she's back part-time, right? Great to have her back helping us.
Absolutely.
With her taking on some responsibilities, we'll be able to back data off a little bit, right? So we have been approving support payments for them in the amount of $10,000. We did that, came up to the last meeting or the meeting before. So, we don't need, so what the way that works, right, is we pay in advance, right? We pay them that money and then they work it down. We're probably not gonna need that much time from them, so what we thought we'd do is reduce that to $5,000 and wanna make sure everybody was comfortable with that. We'll still, because there still is some support and work we want from them, but it's not gonna be quite as much. So we back that down to 5. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. And then hopefully we can not use up as much money, though they've been great, right? Guys, so, wanted to go through that. And I guess that's a bit of a segue, Bricolage, correct?
I think so. Did any of you watch Town Council like 2 weeks ago?
I did.
Well, and yes, Roger, I know you did.
My reputation follows me.
Sorry. So to the commission, I wanted to let you guys know, I wanted to tell you first, and it got announced at Town Council that I did put my resignation in. It's a lot to do with just current events in town. I won't get into too much since we're on a public hearing, and that's probably more than I need to say anyways. That being said, I am working still until a replacement is found. So I'm not leaving you guys, I'm still here for questions, I'm still here to coordinate. Again, reduced hours, I'm at 20 hours a week, checking emails every day as I can. Some of those days are chock full of meetings, so I'm a little bit delayed in getting back to people, but that's okay, I suppose. So it's very bittersweet, it's sad, it wasn't an easy decision to make at all. But I'm still here, and as I told Mark and Louis earlier, I am still just a text message away. You guys have a soft spot in my heart. And if you ever need a bulldog, that's fine, I can come in. I'll be the bully.
Okay.
I mean, I told Bricolage this, I mean, pretty heartbreaking for us. I mean, been a great ally, great educator, and a great friend. So big loss to us in the town. I'm sad as could be, but certainly respect and understand the decision. But
I don't think we should let her leave until she brings somebody back in that is good as her.
well, that won't happen, so she'll be here forever. I like that
Oh my
plan, Richard. I really like that
Thank you,
plan.
Richard.
Bar's really high.
No, I hope you find someone better. I mean, that's how it should be, like generationally,
Yeah, I
right?
like that,
Every generation should get a little bit better.
Well,
So,
we live in hope and die in despair.
thank you. Well, Richard, I actually have good news for you. I'll pay you back for that compliment. Thank you. I did talk to Mark Sorrell about our favorite enforcement order, and he said he's comfortable. We're okay to extend it even longer if you want to do 60 days or 90 days.
Okay.
90 days, all right.
So, there's that. But yeah, I'll still be here. We're still around. I'm not gonna leave you with our East Central Street project alone, you know? I'll be with you.
And we appreciate you sticking with us at least for a bit, and the help, because we could use it. I know I could, so thank you.
Yep, not a problem.
Actually, the only other thing, how did things wrap up at the farmer's market there the other day?
I have a comment. We need a bloody sign.
We need, I was
And
thinking,
we need to have somebody make one, something that's, unless one of you guys.
so here's a question.
And we need some chairs.
So
We have a table runner And we
Well-
have posters in my office.
Well, I was gonna ask him, well, I thought.
Where is it?
I was gonna suggest the table runner, but
On
I
my
thought
desk?
that was in the box of everything else that is.
No, it was on my desk, right now it's on the bottom shelf in there.
Okay, so we get the, it's a
Green.
green table runner with Ben Franklin on it, right?
Yep, the Old Town seal, but people can fight me on that, because is what it is.
We just need something that says, hey, this is the Franklin Conservation
Well, we got,
Commission
we
here.
got this great,
Instead of a
great,
bunch of people standing there like,
oh, the killer was, I mean, because I was thinking the same thing, right? We have a great cloth banner that hangs down in front that's.
there we go.
So, we gotta get, all right, so the good news is we still have that, so that we gotta get. All right, because I
You
thought.
should have a tent somewhere. And I only say that because I've been at farmers markets.
I had the tent.
And, okay, so we have one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We decided not to put it up.
Yeah, remember
Okay.
you said.
No,
oh,
I know, I was
oh,
gonna say, I a lot of times won't put them up, just because it makes it easier at the end of the market, but if, should it rain and you don't have one, you're caught.
We do have a tent.
Okay.
So we've got the table runner. It's a shame we didn't have it at that meeting, but, you know, we're revitalizing it.
Yeah.
so.
We're revitalized.
Yeah. So, okay, good. All right, but
And I have the table,
excellent.
so right now it's in the garage, so at some point in time, I don't want it to grow accustomed to that, but I'm fine right now.
All right, if you need to move it, let me know. You can bring it, we'll throw it in my truck.
We'll move it in April on Earth Day.
It's gonna go from Del Carter. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
If you want, you could look at what we have in my office, and we can always, we use Allegra, the town uses Allegra printing, and we could get some things printed. That's fine.
Okay.
You know, like the table runner is long ways. It's a hot dog, not sandwich. So, or not bun, whatever it is. So if you wanted something that was like a bun that came over on the front that said Franklin Conservation Commission, that's definitely an idea.
I thought that's what that thing did, no?
No, it's either end.
Oh.
It's a banner.
Which is really, I would suggest
Like a banner?
the bun.
The bun, yeah, the bun.
People walking by won't see something that's laying on top of it.
Yeah, you want that thing that drapes in
Right,
front,
yeah.
right front.
We need
Right.
that,
Right.
you know, bang.
All right.
So you could do that, that's fine. That's an easy lift.
Are there rules about the logos now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There are rules about the logo.
Okay. I'm asking because I thought there might be. I don't want to get sidetracked with the.
Yes, there are. I can coordinate with Corey Shea, or I can connect you guys anyways.
If you want to connect
Just
me, I'm happy
especially
to.
in my-
run-
yeah,
run
okay.
point on it.
That sounds good.
Is that the old logo that we're looking at on the GIS?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's, I don't think we have one here.
Go.
It's on the town
I'm just
website.
gonna leave it alone. I was gonna make a funny comment, but I'm staying.
Yeah. Stay away from that.
Actually, if you
I'll
look at the
probably-
other screen, it's right over your head.
Yeah.
I'll do that next Monday, Mark.
All right, that's cool.
It's okay with you. All right.
All right, good. All right. You got something else, Louis?
No, I didn't know if we had site visits.
No, we're, Ricolai's taking that, so we don't need to go through.
Okay.
With that, Nicole, motion to adjourn?
I give a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second that?
Vote to adjourn.
Vote to adjourn.
Sure.
Adjourn.
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 Meeting's adjourned.